Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the newest omnibus release from Marvel Comics, and that is the eagerly awaited Uncanny X-Men Volume 4 Omnibus. I've got volumes 1 through 3. I was really hoping they'd come out with a volume 4, and they have. What they've done with these is they've taken the Marvel Masterworks volumes and compiled them into these omnibuses. That's exactly what they've done. They don't tell you that, but I've read the Marvel Masterworks and compared them to the omnibuses, and they're just Masterworks combined into an omnibus, which is fine because not everybody collects the Marvel Masterworks and not all of them are readily available. Some of them can get quite expensive too in the collector's market. Now, this one does have a direct variant cover. This is the retail cover. Let me show you the spine here. The same as the other ones, just volume 4, so it'll fit nice on your shelf. Here's the back. Contains X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 176 to 193, X-Men Annual number 8, the Kitty, Pryde, and Wolverine miniseries 1 through 6, the 2-issue series of X-Men and Alpha Flight, and Marvel Fanfare number 40. Now this right here, issue 193, this one is the variant cover. So if you want that, you'll have to go to a direct market seller, somebody who sells the direct market for variant covers, not retail. Like for example, I got this from Amazon, and there was no choice to have a variant cover. Believe it or not, I actually pre-ordered this a year ago. Why would I do something so crazy? Well, I was so excited about it, for one, when they put the solicitation up. And two, I locked in a great price. This retails for $125, and for reasons unknown to me, there was this very brief period of time in last year, I think it was April, when the solicitation first came out for the pre-order, and it was $65, and that's just a steal. So I immediately locked in my pre-order, and I've kept it that way ever since. Kept it that way for a year. Now there is an Omnibus fan, there is an X-Men fan. As always, I encourage you to not pay full retail for this. There is absolutely no reason to pay $125 for this unless you happen to be in your local comic store and you're right there and they've got it on the shelf and you just have to have it right now. I understand that. Been in those shoes a few times when I've just sucked it up and paid the money, but not very often. Not very often. It's nice to be able to support your local comic shops, but I've noticed that as far as the books go, they pretty much want full retail, which is unfortunate because then it makes them hard to compete with the bigger sellers, or maybe some of the online sellers who don't have the overhead of a physical building and employees. So I guess I should say, if you want to support your local comic shop, then, and they have this, by all means get it. I would say, especially if you want the direct market variant. Your local comic book shop will probably have the direct market variant, not this. And yeah, you may be stuck paying full retail. But, and I am no way uh, being sponsored by or paid by or given stuff by, I like in-stock trades. I've used in-stock trades a lot. They have very reasonable prices. Little slow on getting them shipped out, but if you can just be patient a little bit, they will get it to you, and it will be packaged extremely well. And I use them because I really like the prices. But you know, even with them, I've noticed if you want that direct market variant, which they will have, they don't always have them. I think sometimes they sell out. I had a Marvel Masterworks volume that I wanted the variant cover. For those of you who watch my videos and watch my Marvel Masterworks videos, you know I always prefer the variant cover. It's not a deal breaker to not get the variant cover, but I prefer it. And even with these omnibuses, I like the variant covers. I'd prefer to have the variant covers, but it's no deal breaker. If I can't get it for a good price, or I can't find it, or maybe they're sold out already, then I just don't bother. I just get the retail version. And there's nothing wrong with the art here. This is just original art here, made for the dust jacket. So, you know, nice to have the variant, but I'll stick with this. That's fine. If we open it up, take off the dust jacket, it's just your basic Marvel Omnibus standard black and silver writing on there. No wraparound cover, unfortunately. Here's the first page here. This has the creative team is Chris Claremont, John Romita Jr., Romita? How do you pronounce that? Al Milgrom and Paul Smith. Now, what issues do these cover? Well, this is the 1980s. This starts with X-Men 1. Well, I already said it starts with X-Men 176, but this is December of 1983, and it goes all the way through May of 1985. There's an annual from 1984. There's the X-Men and Alpha Flight 2-issue series is December of 85 and January 86. And the Marvel Fanfare number 40 is from October of 1980. But the majority of these issues are going from 1983 to 1985. So there's a couple years there. This is a foreword by Chris Claremont. Claremont. And it starts off with issue number 176. Here's the cover. I remember this cover. I was a teenager in the 80s, and for me, at the time, I was not collecting X-Men. Now, why do you say I'm an X-Men fan? That's because as an adult, I've been able to get these omnibuses and catch up with all the things that I've missed. When I was a teenager, it wasn't that I didn't like the X-Men. It was I didn't understand them because there was such a wealth and depth of characters and storylines that I just didn't know what was going on. There was no good place to jump in and just figure out who's who and what's what. I knew who the characters were, Yeah, I knew Cyclops and Wolverine and Storm and Kitty Pryde and Rogue and Colossus and Nightcrawler. I knew all those people, but I didn't know their histories. I didn't know what storylines they were in. So, uh, I'm excited to dig into these because for me, this is basically my X-Men education. There's Mystique. I have had to, like I said, play catch up. And it's really nice for me because X-Men was one of those series that I wanted to get into, but I just didn't understand. And these omnibuses have made it possible for me to do this. And if you're interested, they do have the letters pages here. Some of the omnibuses I don't think have those. The paper stock and print quality with the coloring and everything is it's the same as the Marvel Masterworks. There is no difference. If I had the Marvel Masterworks of these, I could show you that it's exactly the same. But funnily enough, I remember when they came out with the Marvel Masterworks of I remember this cover too. I remember when they made the Marvel Masterworks of these issues. There was like 2 or 3 of them, I think. And I purposely didn't collect them because at that time I had the X-Men Omnibuses 1 through 3. And I thought, I could get these Marvel Masterworks and continue the story. But I speculated, here I am speculating on comics when I thought I never would, but this is a different kind of speculation. This is publishing speculation as opposed to collecting and grading and pricing speculation. I speculated that the X-Men omnibuses are popular. They sell well. There's Forge. I'm losing my train of thought here. No, the speculation. I thought that because it's popular and it sells well, that they would probably likely come out with a volume 4 omnibus. And I thought, I'm just going to wait and see if they do that. Which was kind of a gamble because, like I said, sometimes those... these are all in the Marvel Masterworks, and this is from 2018. This is from the Marvel Masterworks. There's the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine series. I remember that coming out. So I'm glad to say that I was correct. I speculated correctly, and they came out with this. It was a gamble because when those Marvel Masterworks go out of print, sometimes, not every time, but sometimes they can go for stupid money on the collector's market. And I don't like paying stupid money for these books. Especially the Marvel Masterworks, which are kind of expensive anyway. That's why I like to get them from in-stock trades, because they're a lot more affordable. But this was a gamble that I won, and I'm very pleased that it's been released. And will they come out with a volume 5? You know, I'm going to say probably. But I think again you're going to have to wait for the next 2 or 3 Marvel Masterworks to be published before they do that. And they just came out with this, so I'm sure they're not making plans for a Volume 5 just yet. I'm sure they'll wait and see how the sales of this go. But I did see on Amazon it was like the #1 seller in, was it the books? It was #1 seller on something. Maybe, I don't know if it was books or comics or what. Even on Amazon, this is a little cheaper than cover price, although not a whole lot. Oh, Spidey got really tore up here. You know, I will say, because I'm going to have to read these. I'm familiar with some of the characters, but I'm going to have to read these to catch up with my stories. Oh, I remember this character. That's Nimrod. You know, I could have sworn that there was a kid in school who had this. I remember this scene. I didn't have the issue, but I remember seeing this character, Nimrod, and you X-Men fans are going to have to educate me. What about Nimrod? Did he play a crucial role in anything? I just remember that character from the kid showing me his X-Men comic. So this is me getting new stories that I haven't read. Here's 193. As I said, if you get the variant cover, this is your variant cover. And I remember this one, double-sided issue, $1.25 back in the day. I loved it when they came out with double-sized issues because it was just more comic for your money. And as a teenager, I really enjoyed that. Do any of you know, in going through this series of issues, here's X-Men Annual number 8. This is from 1984. Do any of you know if there's any key issues in here? I don't know. Honestly don't. So if you're an X-Men fan and you know what are key issues and what aren't, please let me know in the comments. I'm always fascinated to be able to read key issues and know that, hey, somebody spent a fortune for this to get the original, and I'm reading the same story at a fraction of the cost, because I'm not interested in collecting the comics. I'm just interested in reading them. And here's, like I said, here's the X-Men and Alpha Flight series. I vaguely remember that. Vaguely. I do have an Alpha Flight Omnibus, and I'll have to do a review of that. I liked Alpha Flight. What I miss is I did have a Marvel DC crossover comic, which was X-Men versus the New Teen Titans. I don't remember if it was any good, but I thought it was cool that DC and Marvel worked together and did that. It was a period of time that's probably never going to happen again, but it was really cool that they joined forces for that. This is a nice book for me. Like I said, I'm excited to dig into it. Let's see, what is this one? You know, this doesn't have a cover on it. I wonder why. Chris Claremont, again, wrote it. I just don't know why they... I don't know why they didn't include the cover. Interesting. Okay. There are quite a bit of extras in this book. If you like the extras, they've got a lot. They didn't skimp out. You've got original cover art by John Romita Jr. here. All of these. Original cover art by Barry Windsor Smith here. Some layout sketches by Al Milgrom. More original art. Here you have January 1985's Bullpen Bulletins page. And they did a little humor here, getting John Romita Jr. as Marvel Hunk of the Month. When I first saw that, I said, I thought it was Marvel Hulk of the Month. I was like, what? Oh, Hunk of the Month. I remember these checklists. I always thought these checklists were cool as a kid because there was a lot of titles that I didn't get to have, and honestly, I wished I could have had all of them each month. That obviously would have been impossible. My parents were not wealthy enough and were certainly not going to do that for me. And as a teenager, when I was buying my own comics, you have to pick and choose. You don't have enough to get all of them. So there you go. These are pinups from Marvel Fanfare back in 1985. I think it's interesting with Rogue that nowadays she's a very sexy pinup girl, basically. They really made her look beautiful. I don't think she looks as beautiful back then, but she's kind of got that 80s hairstyle going on, so I guess it's a product of its time. Here we have a white Queen poster from 1985, Marvel Press. One of Wolverine. Marvel Age cover by Al Milgrom. Here we have Wolverine and Kitty Pryde feature. That's kind of an essay there about that. And then we have a Chris Claremont interview with Marvel Age. So if you like Chris Claremont, you can get some insight from him. And then there's another Marvel Age interview with John Romita Jr. So they got some good stuff in here. They got covers for Marvel Age. There's a feature on the X-Men and Alpha Flight team up. And here we have a collection of, I think these were the reprints, the X-Men Classic. These were the reprints of the issues that are in this book. Yeah, they are. We have another couple prints. Then we have from 2008. We have these silly strips here. And then we have another cover. And then we have the cover art to the book, which was done by R.B. Silva and Marty Gracia. So that's who did this right here. Are you guys excited to get this? Is this something you'll purchase? I was, obviously. I had this thing on pre-order for a year. I've never done that before, but I was really excited to get it and had to lock in that fantastic price. I knew I wouldn't get that price anywhere else. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care. Bye.